to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Aldermember Starr. Yeah. Blackie.
Yes.
Carey. Olson. Here. Ellert. Here. Kerrigan.
Yep.
Mayor Barner.
Here.
We have one.
Right. Welcome to the visitors. Thanks for coming. Lead off with the consent agenda. What? You want to tell us about the consent agenda?
Yeah,
The
finance committee met tonight. Alderman Olson was not able to attend, so Amy answered about 10, we audited about 10 different checks that were written out or payments, and so that was accomplished. We did review a draft for the purchasing policy, which will come to us, but nothing, we're gonna wait till we can all meet, since that Alderman Olson wasn't there to maybe look at this again, so this will be coming back to us. And Amy did provide us with the long-term debt spreadsheet, which is very beneficial. If you guys don't get that, I think you said you were going to put that in next.
Yes.
In the agendas going forward, so that everybody will have, this is, just lets us know where we're at with our debt. So, that's all I have for the finance report. Unless you had anything else?
No.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second, all in favor? 6-0, thank you. All right, the mayor report. Yesterday was Veterans Day. I was just maybe a day late, they're always on my mind, and I would like to thank all our veterans for their service and their dedication to this country. It's a special person to be in military service and just serve and defend the country, and I just thank them a lot. I'm very grateful for the military and the veterans that we have. Let's see, I'm not going to steal Bob's thunder on the volleyball. I'll let him do that. But I do want to congratulate Lady Dogs for their success in volleyball at the state tournament. Third place is pretty darn special. Downtown trick or treat, magnificent tournament. I heard it was busy, and from what I saw, it was busy. So thanks to all the businesses and everybody that participated in that, made that special night happen. That was really cool. Looking forward to the 18th Christmas lighting ceremony. It's always a special time of that, so we can turn the lights on. So looking forward to seeing people there. If you see me on the street, say hi, please. And looking forward to the focus group getting started on the 14th. Really excited about that. I would like to reiterate that this group is, the city will be providing information and some structure, but this is going to be 100% community led and community run. And the end result will be one that the community decides the direction of this facility going forward. And with that, I will defer to the Alderman reports. Alderman Blackie. I have nothing to report, man. Alderman Colley. Alderman Colley. Kerrigan.
Close. I thought of the dog now for a second. Two things, Mayor. I saw the Parks Department extended their signups for basketball to the 14th of November. So anybody that wants to kick some basketball, jump on that. And then a reminder for Ward 3. We have our monthly community meeting right here in this building tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So we would like to come and chat with an alderman. So we appreciate having you.
Alderman Cole.
My report is that I too am excited about this Monday night Christmas lighting ceremony and appreciate all the work the city staff has done to get the lights untangled, put up, all that it takes just to prepare them. So.
All right.
I have nothing to know.
Alderman Starr.
I don't know if I'll be stealing Josh's thunder or not, but that house over on Jennings is gone. Anyone that's thought that was a pain, well, you know, pain, and looked ugly, it's gone. And Josh was so happy about that.
That makes 3 blighted houses that have been taken care of. And
And I heard the commercial about the downtown light.
Yeah.
And I listened to it twice. I think he said Saturday instead of Monday.
They put the wrong one up, but they had to redo it.
Okay. Cause I heard Saturday, so.
My goodness.
But I heard it, and other than that, I thought you did really well.
Alderman Gary.
Yes, a couple of things. Sean actually makes a presentation to the board at the board meeting with things that have affected her. Karen has turned around and somewhat, I don't want to say complicated, but she is issuing a monthly newsletter now for the benefit, I believe, of all the aldermen, the mayor, and the city staff. I thought your first one was just excellent.
Thank you.
And I would like to congratulate Josh. You had a birthday on October 1st. And I also have a birthday on October 1st.
Oh, there you go.
By the wayside, Karen has been old. Maybe it's something a little more serious. In the last 2 weeks, I've had the opportunity to watch the girls volleyball team play 5 matches against 5 excellent volleyball teams. They won 4. They came in 3rd in the state. First time they've ever gone to the state tournament. There are 5 seniors on this team that are going to be missed, but there are 4 juniors with a couple of juniors that hopefully will come up from the JVs next year. And we have a couple sophomores and a couple freshmen on this varsity team. And I'm looking forward to going back to the state tournament next year. But those girls just played lights out for 2 weeks. And it's a shame that they didn't win it all, but there has to be a loser, there has to be a winner. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you. All right, moving on to the city administrative report.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. I'll reiterate what Colin said. Basketball signups have been extended to November 14th. We've also added Excelsior Springs and Knob Noster to our league, making the league even larger this year. Practices will start Monday, December 2nd, and the first game is scheduled for, or first games are scheduled for Saturday, January 4th. Additionally, not as exciting, but we did have some playground vandalism over the weekend at Dyer Park. One of the swings was not technically vandalized, but had some misuse of a swing over by Lake Bonita, so we have to replace it. And we had one of the playground equipment items was put into Lake Bonita, so we'll be moving forward with some insurance claims on those. So just wanted to let you know. I'll go ahead and tie that into our tips that Josh has rolled out recently too. I believe that's also in your monthly report in the packet as well. So the tips program is through NPR, and it is an anonymous tips program. And NPR is an option through that where NPR will actually fund a reward if the tip leads to an arrest. So we're very excited about that program, and we'll advertise the tips hotline at all of our locations and the reservoir to try to reduce incidences like these. So moving on to wastewater. So they finished processing solids and will be land applying solids this week. We do have the jetter truck going in for some repairs. There is a leaking pump and then a windshield replacement that will be repaired for. And then we will be winterizing equipment at both plants this week. For finance, the Finance committee and the departments are reviewing the purchasing policy. So we'll be moving through, the approval process for that. That'll come to you guys, eventually, once we get through all the other, steps for that. And then also Amy's looking into the fund balance policy like we talked about at our last meeting. We're working to try to get the audit moved forward. Not as successful, or not successfully at this point, but we are still applying pressure to our auditors. We will be looking to put out the RFP this year as well for audit services. And then we are also working on the mutual aid billing for when we sent electric to South Carolina and Florida. For the electric department, we have 2 cooling towers that are no longer in use. They're salvaged to us, but we're selling those to a city in Illinois. So they're coming to get those this week. So they'll be decommissioning those and then shipping them out. The electric department also, just as you noticed, they did put up all the goodness. They did put up. They did put up all of the Christmas decorations over Thursday night. So I think it worked out actually very well for them to work over the evening or over the night to put those up. It was kind of nice surprise for everyone to wake up and have the Christmas decorations already up. It was a safety thing for us too. They didn't have to deal with the traffic and maneuvering around the traffic as well. So it worked out very well. We just have a few things like the magic tree and stuff like that to kind of wrap up, and they're doing good on time for the downtown lighting ceremony next Monday. We're also working to put together some information and quotes for some substation protection measures. So those will be, Troy's putting those together now. We'll have those soon, just to put together some, put some additional protection measures to help protect the substation so we have fewer outages. So we'll see what that looks like. And then working for budget preparations in the electric department. For community development, we are moving forward. We've invoiced 4 of the 15 buildings for Pine Creek. One of the things we talked about in our finance committee meeting today was Pine Creek chose to not build a park as a part of their development. So each unit for Pine Creek will have an $800 park development fee attached to it. So 800 times 4 times 15 will go to the Parks Department to park development for neighborhood, to be spent on neighborhood parks. So we did the math on that, and it ended up being like $46,000, I believe, going to park development from Pine Creek. So that's a positive. So you will probably see construction over there on the first 4 buildings relatively soon. Planning and zoning meeting, there'll be 2 rezone properties over for Dryden properties on the 21st, and then those will then come to the Board of Aldermen on the December meeting. And like Mickey said, the demo of 403 East Benning is complete, so we're very, very excited about that property. And we do have 1 new single-family permit for 607 West Drive. Permits to date, 230. And also, you guys really hit a lot of my talking points, but the city clerk newsletter went out this week. Very excited about that. It allows us to provide updates to staff, provide them with information, just a really great internal communication tool. We're very excited about it, and Karen did such a great job. Moving forward, we'll be providing additional insurance options for those who rent city facilities such as our pavilions and our community building. This is a program through NPR where it's no additional cost to us, but the renters who choose to have larger events at the community building, they can opt in to pay to tack on this additional $100 insurance program. And that will help insure the city and the renter for additional coverage for their own special events that they have. Again, that's their NPR. Let's see.
Is that for damages or?
Yeah, if anything were to occur,
Liability.
property. I think it was, what was it, like up to $1 million?
Oh, yeah, $1 million to cover the buildings themselves, for us, you know.
We are, again, still moving through business licenses. We have quite a few that still have not renewed. So we're working to seek out those businesses and try to get them renewed. Just for clarification, we have not charged any penalties at this point. So we don't intend to at this point. We are just trying to manually encourage renewals. So and then working on those insurance claims for the parks damage. We have now added the state statute liability signs. So through state statute, a community less than 10,000, it literally states in state statute that if you have signs that state that the city is not liable for injury that should occur at a special event, it reduces your liability. So we had these signs printed that we will now have at all of our outdoor special events, such as the outdoor downtown lighting ceremony, the rodeo, puddle jumpers, all of those things. So we've ordered those and we'll put those in play for our first event, which will be the downtown lighting ceremony. So look for those. Also brought to us by NPR. They're really getting our money's worth from them this time. See, myself, Josh, and Karen, we're working to prepare for the first police facility focus group, which will be held on this Thursday, with the second meeting almost immediately following the next Tuesday or a week from today. And just as a reminder, the group itself will select a chair, and then on a monthly basis, that chair will come to you all with an update or a report of their findings and what they're working on. So talked about the weed tips, and also PD received another grant to extend the license plate reader program. So the license plate reader that we have, we do lease it. So the grant will cover the lease payments for an additional 2 years. So that's exciting. And then we are working with the chamber to finalize the parade route and special event information for the upcoming downtown lighting ceremony, which is less than 1 week away now. And then last of all, the RFP for the ARPA projects was posted on Friday. So that is live and we are on track and on schedule for that. The bid opening is scheduled for December 3rd. So then as soon as we select that bidder, we will work for the contract negotiations, and then we'll bring that contract to you at our next Board of Alderman meeting. And again, our deadline for that is December 31st. So that's all I have.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Moving on to public comments. Do we have any public comments tonight? All right, under old business, if we have some discussion on the MoDOT bridge overpass improvements.
Yep. Good stuff.
Okay, so I've met with MoDOT and there's two agreements that we'll have to have in total for the interchange thing. So the cost apportionment agreement, which is what was included in your packet, that is for the bridge design for the name. That's only for that. And then I will also bring to you a, what was that one called? Municipal agreement, and that will just be for the construction and the relationship between the city and MoDOT for the interchange and I-70 project as a whole. So that'll be on our next agenda, but I did want to I put the cost apportionment agreement in your packet as a draft, just so you could see that, because I did feel like it answered a lot of the questions that you guys had from our previous conversation, and I went ahead and put the language in there as it would be if we were to sign the agreement. So this is not the final version, not at all the final version. It is just a draft. But I do think it does answer a lot of the questions, like, for example, Mickey, you had asked about where the the money went to, and where the not inflation, but the interest goes to. So it states under 8A, under payment responsibilities, that that the payment will go to the Director of Revenue Credit State Road Fund. So that fund is what's collecting the interest at whatever interest grows off of the money that was held during that period. So one thing that I did do that I felt like was a major change from what we last talked about. One, I brought it from, I think we last talked, it was 50,000. We talked about 2 bridges. I brought it down to 25, cut that number in half. And basically the way I did that was basically having Odessa on, one eastbound lane on one bridge, and then westbound lane being
Bridge on the other.
yes,
we
on
get
the
it.
other bridge.
So we don't have 2 signs up to it on one
Yeah,
bridge, so
it
there's no
felt-
sense. That was a great idea.
Yeah, it felt repetitive.
I mean, I guess we're keeping both bridges. We still.
Yes,
For sure.
yes, no matter what, there will be 2 bridges, I think. Well, no matter no matter what, there will be 2 times
Signs.
Odessa's stated.
Yes,
east
One
and
at
west.
Johnson and one at 131.
Yes.
correct. Eastbound,
That's the
west.
preferred design. For
They went
MoDOT.
from 50,000 to 25.
Because we don't need 2 on each bridge.
Either way, Odessa will only be stated twice instead of 4 times.
Well, that makes more sense. than
Right. Exactly. So that reduced the cost to half. And this, one thing that I did I did some research and looked at other cities and how they've done it. So obviously Oak Grove is one of those example cities. They had, what was the other city that they had? Wentzville in here as the example. If you go down 49, I-49, you have Belton, Harrisonville, Grandview, all of those cities are also examples that look very similar to Oak Grove. One of the things that I think is interesting to me is whether or not this would include what they refer to as the form liners. And it's, to me, I think it's something that we won't necessarily know until we get the bids back, quite frankly. So the form liners is like the actual rock looking stuff that goes all the way across. So, to me, what we're requesting them to design is just the sign. So ideally, that's what I would expect back from MoDOT is the design for the sign, and not include the rock as well that goes all the way across.
And if it goes over 25,000, we're just not gonna do it at all. I like that on there, so kind of budget for that.
The other thing that I checked with the chamber on was the cost of the welcome signs that they put together, both at the north end of town and south end of town. So those were, I think, just under 10,500 for both of those combined. So my thought behind that was that those those signs have the same intended purpose, just with a smaller reach. With a similar price tag, smaller price tag, but smaller.
Do we know what the cost would be if we were to put a metal sign on the side of it?
So I
Great,
did
instead
ask
of-
if we would be able to add a sign after the construction phase. And it be something that could be affixed after the fact, after the bridge is constructed. The answer I got from MoDOT was not a no. But that basically that the process does not exist and that would not be preferred.
So basically it was enough.
It's never been done before. It doesn't exist.
So who puts like the W highway and stuff on roads?
Yeah.
So those are just regular so you just mean a regular
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, who puts those on?
Those, yes, you could do that. You could do that. But I don't know, it wouldn't be, those are just street signs, so it would say 131, it wouldn't say Odessa. So there is a sign permit process that exists, but there's not a sign permit process where you can customize, is what doesn't exist.
Well, I really like this, written up here, I like the draft, so. I think 25,000 is a good number, and then if it goes over that, we just won't do it, so.
What made me feel comfortable with it is because of this design build process. And if we get this approved prior to the RFP going out, the designers are going to know what our parameters are prior to designing it. So they're going to try to fit what our limit is into their design. If it were vice versa and we said, okay, we want 25 after they've designed, they're gonna be like, that's probably impossible.
Right.
That's just not affordable kind of thing. But if they know that it's 25 prior to designing it, it's more of like, okay, we can try to fit that into it. We're thinking with that price and that parameter in mind from the beginning of the design process.
Still blows me away, they gotta be paid for this at this moment, though, but. That's their way of doing it. And then if it goes over 25 and they've had it, I mean, what happens? Do we get that money back then, or it just gets put in the?
Yep. Oh, yes, it will be refunded back to us. And if it's less than 25, the difference would be refunded back to us as well. And I did also ask them about like, when would we know what the design would look like and what would be the timeline of us being able to understand? If we're over the 25, what it would look like, generally speaking. Is it gonna look like Oak Grove? Is it gonna look like Wentzville? They did explain, so May 7th is when they decide which company had the preferred, this design, right? That's when they're gonna select the bidder. And then they enter into this 30 to 60 day contract negotiation with them. So then after the 30 to 60 days, then they have another 90 days to actually do the actual designing of it and the engineering, if you will. But at the May 7th timeframe, they'll have the renderings, if you will. So the high level pretty picture, we'll know what it's gonna look like conceptually enough to know if we like the design or not by in and around makeup.
So you're telling me MoDOT doesn't know what the bridge is gonna look like yet?
Mhm.
May 7th.
So when it comes to the sign on the bridge, what we're trying to accomplish is bringing attention to Odessa. Is there any other way we can do that? Even with $25,000 without putting it on the bridge? Are there any
So
other
the
options that
only
might
other-
draw attention?
The other way that other cities would do this a lot of them will do both, like Harrisonville on 49 Highway has both, and so does, Peculiar, they have both, where they have a name on the bridge and then they have a monument on the shoulder. Like between, like what would hypothetically be between 40 Highway and I-70 in that grass median, they'll put like a welcome to Odessa monument of some sort. But those are likely much more costly than this would be, but it would be similar to, I guess it just depends, it'd be similar to what the Odessan, or not the Odessan, similar to what the chamber put together. And theirs was fine. But I don't know if you, I'm assuming just like the wayfinding signs, you would be held to very specific standards
Criteria.
to what you're allowed to put there.
Yeah, Summit has one on 470 monument.
And then you can have all different sizes. Harrisonville's is much smaller than Hilliard's monument.
I've talked to a couple of constituents about it and they're just very strong no. I'm just trying to help justify this in my mind.
My concern and what the perspective of MoDOT's was more so that it's like an opportunity of time. It's something that should be done at the time of construction and is going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but what they're saying is not preferred to do after construction.
It'll be 3 or 4 times the cost after.
Do we have to vote on anything?
The only other thing would be to bring back the contract at the next meeting and then you would vote on it then. Okay. This cost apportionment agreement.
This is basically an informative
Yeah,
session.
and I guess if you have, unless you wanted me to change anything on this, but I can bring it as is here. I still need to go make sure that MoDOT is good with the edits that I made and then have Lindsay review it as well. But I will bring back the cost apportionment, but as long as you guys are good with the 25 and the language that I had with it going east and westbound one way.
And it's 25 total, it's not 25 per.
Right.
Anyone else have any thoughts on this?
I think we talked the last time that 50 was just too high. So I think, Shauna, you've done at least your homework from the standpoint of walking us through what you think will be satisfactory from the standpoint of an expense to the city of Odessa. And we're gonna have to find out, which you are going to do so, if we can even do one sign on one bridge for $25,000 or less. I have a funny feeling that we're not gonna get 2. So I like the idea that you've indicated that the chamber paid approximately $11,000 for the southern sign down by that little curve. And then the northern sign, those are, I think, very nice signs. And if we turn around and decide that instead of 25,000, we want to spend $11,000, we could put a sign both coming west. I think the off-ramp there would lend itself, I'm not sure who owns that property, right to the right of that off-ramp, or who owns the property just to the right of the east to west off-ramp in Johnson Drive. But for $11,000, those two, I think, are very nice signs that would give us some identification.
My only concern is that it would cost more because of MoDOT's requirements. Because just like the wayfinding signs, like we can't just go put any type of sign there.
I'm not talking about putting it on the bridge.
No, I'm just saying in MoDOT's right
So
of
is
way.
that
to
their
I-70.
severe of
Because they're gonna regulate what you're able to build there and to what standards you're able to build there because it's on interstate right of way.
Okay.
That's my only concern. It's not gonna be like for like cost wise, just because they're gonna make sure that it's certain. Like the wayfinding signs, like you have to use specific poles that aren't
They have to be breakaway standard.
breakaway
Car has to
standards,
be able to go through the
things
car.
like that.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff you gotta go through for a sign, so. It would probably be very costly to do a sign close by.
I think the bridge is very good advertising. I mean, I just really like that. I noticed it every time I pass through, again, I said, yeah, I really, Oak Grove on that. My opinion.
And next month, if you wanna bring this back to us, we'll find out whether or not this board has any appetite to spend $25,000 for a name on a bridge.
All right, well, I will bring it back and that's, you guys will,
Thank you.
you have plenty of time to kind of think through it as well.
One other question. I know there are specific requirements. Could we find out those requirements and what it might cost us?
Definitely look into
If
that.
it's even an option to put something there, it may be so astronomical that you're right, but
For a monument.
yeah, well, just a sign. Cause I had an idea that if we wanted to get the community more involved, we could have a sign contest of people designing different signs and make it unique to our community.
Yeah.
And let somebody design something and come up with something. And let's pick some winners. And if we could do it cheaper, and if we did have a place to put it, it might engage the community more and also still get us what we want with people seeing it.
And what,
But you're right, MoDOT's gonna have specific requirements, that we may not be allowed to do it.
but so just for confirmation, you're saying not affixed to the bridge, because they've already said.
Yeah,
that,
they've already
but
said
within
no,
the I-70
just, yeah,
right of way.
anywhere that would fulfill the same needs as if it was on the bridge.
I can ask.
Even if it was on private property, but big enough that we could see it or something,
Something you have to consider though is
yeah.
the outer roads, MoDOT owns them too, so they go
Sure.
from south
And
outer
40.
road to north outer road.
Yep,
All that's MoDOT property, so
right.
you'd have to go outside, either further south than 40 highway or,
Mhm.
further north
Yeah.
thin the outer road to.
You're right.
something in.
And if you had to go that far, you'd have to have a really big sign,
Right,
which really kills your cost, so,
Billboard.
just to keep that.
yeah, seriously, yeah.
Okay, I will keep investigating.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, moving on to new business. Start with bill number 2024-23. Introduction and reading of bill number 2024-23, calling for a general election in and for the city of Odessa, Missouri on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025, to elect municipal officers and provide notice to the general public as required by law. Take a motion to approve the first reading.
Make a motion to approve the first reading. Bill number 2024-23.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor? All right, moving on to the second reading of bill number
Any
2024.
Any discussion?
Oh, yes, that's right, I'm sorry, discussion, any discussion? I didn't expect a word, yes, but no formality, you're right.
Formality, make sure.
Yeah.
we vote.
All right, so with no discussion, we will move on to bill number 2024-23, second reading. Introduction and readings of bill number 2024-23, calling for a general election in and for the city of Odessa, Missouri on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025, to elect municipal officers and provide notice to the general public as required by law.
I'll make a motion that we approve the second reading of bill number 2024-23, calling for general election and approve the bill as an ordinance.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, roll call.
We have a pizza party now, since we did that.
Aldermember Starr,
Yes.
Lackey,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Polson,
Yes.
Eller,
Yes,
Kerrigan.
Yes.
Motion carried, given ordinance number 3135.
Now we will start with discussions. Prior to the vote on resolution number 2024-25, proposed resolution number 2024-20-25, authorizing the mayor to enter into a right of entry for survey and exploration agreement between the city of Odessa, Missouri and the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Kansas City District, to survey, make test borings, and carry out such other exploratory work as may be necessary. Discussion.
This is like an.
Is this a yearly thing?
No, it's not. They've just approached us because they have their levees along that area, and then they own the property basically on both sides of our property. So they've just requested this information.
They've not done it.
No.
Says 4 months on here, so they'll do all this surveying within 4 months.
Yep, and they do everything. They just need permission to.
What are they surveying? I think I
The-
asked the mayor.
Our property, our land that our wells sit on.
Okay, so they're just gonna survey our
Yeah.
land, that's what this,
Mhm.
aren't they doing some kind of studies?
Is this related to a discussion we had at an earlier time? What I thought.
Yeah, so for survey and then the sample, the soil sampling is what this is requesting.
Any further discussion? I'm gonna take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading, resolution, just resolution number 2024-25.
All in favor? 6-0, thank you. Moving on, to resolution number 2024-26, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the city of Odessa, Missouri and Doppler Incorporated for after-hours response management software and dispatch module. Discussion.
I do have Elena with Doppler on our Zoom call, so if you have any questions, she'll be able to answer about the software.
Hi, Elena.
Hello. Oop, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Awesome.
You want her to,
Or you, tell us what the stuff.
oh, okay, I can do it because I didn't ask her to prepare.
Oh, either way, I'm happy to do.
Okay, I'll do just a quick overview real quick. So this is primarily going to help with our electric department and our water department, mostly electric department with our power outages that we have. Currently, how we have it set up, we have Mitel as our phone services, and those are set so we have one line for water emergencies and one line for electric emergencies. So anytime we have a power outage, a water main break, whatever the emergency is, it could be, honestly, it doesn't even have to be outside of working hours or office hours. It can be during office hours or not, but those lines are set to call directly to either Troy or to Darren. So during a major emergency, their phone lines are inundated and they're not able to answer every single call that comes in. It's just not humanly possible. So we have residents that are left kind of, I don't want to mean this in a but non-pun intended, but left in the dark. Go, yes, please add.
When we start getting a lot of calls come in, we cannot use our phones to call out either. So that's something very important to us to be able to call each other and know what's going on. So you're not allowed to do that whenever you got a ton of calls coming in.
And you can't do
Makes
any
it
work
possible.
if you're sitting on the phone. That was
Exactly.
a million people the same thing.
And another component of it too is that a lot of times they're driving to the scene. So they're trying to answer their phone, drive. It's just all around not the best scenario. So we actually budgeted for this software at the beginning of this fiscal year. And what this does is it allows our residents to be able to either call or text their services. So when they call, they're calling directly into a call center. So they speak to a real person. That call center then collects the information. They can either say, they can say anything. It's going to collect the information and say, I live at 307 Gulf Street and the line outside my house is on fire, or I saw a large flash, or the line is laying across the driveway, or whatever it is, they're gonna collect that information and compile it all for our staff to be able to monitor and pull in, and then they can use that as a resource to better manage the emergency. They also have the ability to text the number as well. So they can call and then ask for the text to come back to them, or they can, I think they can text it directly as well. They don't have to call at all. And when they text it, instead of it like going to an app or anything, because what we've learned with technology today is people get app fatigue, where there's an app for this and an app for that and an app for that, and people don't want apps anymore. So when they get this text, it sends them a link, and the link takes them to a website. The website, then it literally looks like when you order your Domino's pizza, it has like what they call a pizza tracker, where it shows you, okay, the crews have been dispatched, or crews are en route, or crews are on scene. So our residents are able to get that update and see exactly where our staff are in the process of managing the emergency situation that we have. So it allows our residents to know exactly what's going on and not feel like they don't know what's going on. Right now, our only and best way to do that is through, or our two ways of doing that is through Troy literally talking to them if he's able to make that contact, or us communicating to them through Facebook. And we know, one, he's not able to talk to all of them, and two, not everyone has Facebook. So there's a great deal of residents who they have no idea what's going on at all.
It helps us too, because we get the phone.
Oh, yes. So the other part in there too, that you might have saw on the proposal, there's $2 amounts on there. So there's $1 amount for the response management. So that's what I just explained. There's also another dollar amount on there. That's the proactive side. So that's the reactive side whenever an event happens, but it also has the opposite side too, where say if we have a scheduled outage, or Darren needs to
Flushing the drains.
flush in just a certain area though, or just turn off a water line from this street to this street to repair a leak. We can like basically make an alert to just that geolocated area, and prior to, we can collect or insert contact information via email or phone, and then we can contact those people directly, just them, instead of having to put that information on Facebook and tell the entire all of Odessa that we're turning off the water in a 2-block area. Instead, we can communicate to just those people in that 2-block area.
What's your plan for roll out this information to the public?
Same thought.
So technically, the point is that you really just have to switch the numbers. Like,
So, I mean, we will have this information, we'll just blast it all over social media and,
there's really not a lot to, there's not a
it's just a phone number?
it's just a new way. It's just that whenever they call, they're not going to talk to Troy. It's not, there's not a learning curve to it. It's that
But they
now
need to call this number though?
it's going to be the same number and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Am I right with that, Elena?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the goal of it is that there's not something you have to retrain, or that you have to marketing push out to residents saying use this system now. Because we work with a lot of places that use a system like that doesn't work out. So the theory is like day one, the resident doesn't realize that Doppler exists really. They call into the same number they're used to calling into, but now they get a live person talking to them that's trained in utilities and can, get that information, provide good customer service. And then same with like for emergent, like service related issues, they don't even really need to sign up for the notification either. So they even like that portal Shauna was talking about, it's like a lot of people have their city logo on that. They don't have Doppler logo. It doesn't feel like you're going it through a third party. It's more like it's just like an extension of the city, if that makes sense.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other, Mickey?
In that scenario, the thing, the lines are on fire, or they fall across the driveway, how soon after the people call, how soon are they going to? How soon will Darren or Troy know that? I mean, is it gonna take like an hour? Is it gonna take 10 minutes? You know, is there
It-
some kind of timeline?
And what's their response time to?
So you're saying how long from the time that that information is given to Doppler till it gets to Troy or Darren?
Correct.
Can you answer that, Elena?
Yeah, it's actually automated, so it's within a second. That's something too. A lot of cities we work with had traditional call centers where they had someone kind of like playing a game of telephone of like take the call, hang up, call out the on call, the Troy, relay the information. And it's a big problem because then, multiple cities have outages, they get overwhelmed. Now they're not relaying that information. So that process, that relay of information is automated. So Troy's going to get the call with the information, the text with the information. So he gets it within a second. But, we're there to take the next phone call coming in. So there's not going to be a hold time on the front end when the customer calls in, but then there's not a lag at all with that transfer of information either. Does that make sense?
So it's not like calling 911 getting put on hold. I
No.
mean,
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
So our staff would have the information immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's automated. It's not waiting on someone to do any manual process for that information to be transferred. So it's happening instantly, no matter what.
And then their software is basically taking all the information and filtering out what's the highest priority. So it hears or it sees the word fire and it prioritizes that, or it sees the word, flash or boom or, whatever the key words are, it will prioritize those and put those at the top. So our staff see those.
very good.
Any other questions?
Take a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2024-26 Doppler Inc. software agreement.
Mike seconds. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? 6-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, of course. And thank you guys.
You don't have to stay if you don't want to.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.
Next scheduled meeting to be moved to 12/16/24. Do we need a motion to make that happen? Yes. We need a motion to move the next scheduled meeting to 12/16/24.
For the ARPA projects, we just want to give an extra week to allow for the contract negotiations.
I'll make a motion that we move our December meeting from Monday, December the 9th to Monday, December the 16th, 2024.
I will second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? 6-0. Thank you very much.
For closed session, can we add one as well?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we adjourn to closed session pursuant to RSMO 610-012. Legal actions, causes of the action, litigation, or confidential attorney-client communication. And pursuant to RSMO 610-021, real estate negotiation.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Aldermember Starr,
Yes.
Blackie,
Yeah.
Carrie,
Yes.
Folsom,
Yes.
Eller,
Yes.
Kerrigan.
Take 5 minutes if you need them, then we'll adjourn the closed session.